What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Super Gamer Boys. I'm your host and captain and dad, Garrett Morlang. And here in the virtual studio with me is the king of video games and resident superstar, Adrian Holmes. What's going on, Adrian?
What's going on, man? It's good to have the gang all here.
Yeah, we finally are all back together, and this isn't a bit. We're not just pretending it's just me and Adrian now. There also is the heavyweight podcasting champion of the world, JJ Purdom, joining us tonight.
That's right. Just hitting a big old double buy right now. Just let everybody just check out the guns, you know.
Soak it in.
And don't even worry about it. I got permits for these, so I'm just carrying these around all the time. Yeah, last week I was licking some corporate boot, guys. I'm sorry. I couldn't make it. It's hard. It's hard. Living the life.
I guess it's just what we got to put up with moving forward. So we'll make do.
You know what? It's fine, because some people might even say last week was the best episode we've had in a long time. So
actually, nobody would. I got so many instant messages and like DMs that people were saying like horrible show.
Oh, okay.
God, we missed you. You're the heart, the life, the soul of the show. And when you're not there, both of them like suck down a level. So I don't know what that means.
Okay. Well, that's not what I heard.
You take that for what that's the listeners, guys. That was dozens and dozens of people.
Who are we to argue?
Yeah, who are we to argue with? The listeners. We might need to check into this story. I'm having a hard time believing that you actually checked social media. That's my biggest hang up with this.
I'm constantly logged in. Now.
Oh, okay. Always jacked into the on. Like you're just like in the Matrix, jacked into the Matrix there, constantly.
You know me and the social media, dude. I gotta every day get my fix.
It's just always up in there. So I'm gonna kind of hijack the beginning here because I had let me see, 3 major things happen to me today. That's right, 3 major life events here. And I just want to share them with you. One of them,
you're not going to talk about the popped hemorrhoid, are you? You can't talk about that. This is a video game podcast here. Medical things are not things that these listeners want to hear about.
Okay, so the first one is I started doing Beachbody workout today, and let me tell you, my legs are hurting so bad right now. I was back in 2020. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna get fit. I started a gym membership. 3 months in, the whole world shut down. So I was like, well, that didn't work. Fate was against me on that one. Last year, I didn't even give it a shot. This year, I'm like, here we go. I'm a month late, but I'm going for it. So,
are you getting ready for the beach or something? What's the occasion?
I'm getting ready for when you come to visit. Again, I just want to make sure I look my best for you. That's what
he wants to lay around with his shirt off in front of you. That's odd, man.
Hey, what's going on?
How's it going?
Why you got your shirt off? Oh, nothing. Just the results of the beach body.
Garrett, please keep in mind, the exercise is great and it's great for your heart and for your body and stuff like that. But abs aren't made in the gym, dude. They're made in the kitchen. So you got to put down the Lunchables and you got to put down the Go-Gurts that you're normally eating, and you got to actually eat some good, healthy food. Okay, so put away all that processed garbage that you normally are consuming, sucking down your Capri Suns. That stuff's not good for you, man. You're not going to be able to get that 6-pack you want by sucking all that stuff down.
You wait and see. I'm going to prove everyone wrong. I'm going to do it. I'm going to be the first man to do it.
JJ, we're going to get there, and he's going to be like, I made some accommodations. Where do you want to sleep? And he's going to pick up the couch. On this couch or in this love seat? And start juggling them. Oh, you want it over here?
I have a prediction that when we come out there to stay at his pad in the next 6 months, and we're doing a 3-man sleepover thing, because that's the way I envision it. It's we've got footy pajamas on and we're staying up all late playing the Nintendo, and I'm just imagining that Garrett is going to have one arm bigger than the other because of his masturbation skills. But that's all I'm thinking.
Better not be your Beachbody workout. That better not be it.
No.
If you got it off the site, I'm thinking it might be. It very well could be.
No. It's Beachbody on demand. So it's not actually like a beach workout.
Not
it's
the same site.
It's basically like it's Netflix for workouts. There's a bunch of different workouts. So I'm not doing a Beachbody workout. the company's Beachbody, but I'm not trying to get a Beachbody, if you know what I mean. That's not what it is. No, it's more of like a, hey, like let's lose a little bit of the flab. And I'm like, okay, I'm down with that. I'm down with that. The second major life event happened just mere moments before I ran down here to jump on the podcast. I was changing my 1.5-year-old his diaper. And for the first time ever, he reached down between his legs, grabbed the diaper, and let me preface this with, it was a poopy diaper. He grabs it and straight up just flings it. Rips it right out from underneath him. Poop all over the floor. Absolute chaos. Never been done. And the reason that's a major life event is just because I've had two, like this is my second kid. The first one's out of diapers. The second one, maybe he needs to be out of them soon. I've never had that happen. Like I've only been peed on once, and I've never had a poop incident. But
my heart just blew up like 3 times bigger. And Griffin, I want you to know if you're listening, because I know you listen to the thing. Uncle JJ is getting you a special Christmas present this next year, dude. I love it. I love it.
Look,
love you
it
too,
sounds
buddy.
like you need to be glad. It sounds like you need to be glad that none of it got on you, and it just got on the floor.
I was straight, definitely a miracle from God that I didn't get any on me. It was just on the carpet. The problem is it's like a shag rug in the kids' room. It was a little hard to clean up, but we got it.
So real quick, did you also, in the process of the diaper going up, did you then go, oh my gosh, Trudy, I got to go to the show? Like, do you have this?
No,
are you good?
Garrett.
Garrett, did you do that? Please tell me that you did that. You
owe her big time.
Dude, if you did, I'll stop teasing you right now. I'll never tease you again. If you tell me that you dropped it like it was hot and you said, Trudy, babe, you got this? Because I got the boys. The internet is waiting on me right now.
The entire internet's waiting for me, babe.
We got to take away your captain. Now you're just a host and dad. No. She's the captain now. Sorry.
She's the captain. It flashed through my head for a second. I'm like, no, I cannot do that because I would be sleeping on one of those couches I was juggling for the next month. So, and the third major life event is the one that you guys actually probably care about, or at least you, the listener. I am the proud owner of a brand new used PlayStation 3. Brand new to me, used, but yeah. I picked one up off eBay because I was really bummed out. I don't know. I was listening to Funk the other day because I started the Metal Gear Solid stream. I was going to play through 1 through 4 all on stream. And then old Konami went and screwed me over again and took the HD collection off all
Yoink.
Of digital storefronts, and I was playing it off PS Now. I was streaming it, and they're like, no, sorry, sucks to suck. And I was like, you know what? I need to do something about this. I need to rectify this. I need to bring that series back. I want to stream again. And I was like, okay, I'm going to buy a PS3. So that's what I did. Got a PS3, got the Metal Gear Solid Legacy Collection coming in the mail tomorrow, and I am so freaking stoked. And let me tell you, I told you guys before what the first game I played. I want to share with the listeners. Of course, the first thing I downloaded on this thing was PlayStation All-Stars Battle Royale. That's right.
I know that PlayStation looked at you and was like, you cannot be serious. Of all the hundreds of games that came out on PS3, the absolute classics, you picked this one to start off with. Maybe
even a better game than Smash Brothers, just saying. Maybe even the better.
So, ladies and gentlemen, for Juicy JJ Purdom, for Adrian the Homeboy Holmes, we'll catch you on the flippity flop.
He's shutting it down right there. No more show. All right, see you guys. End stream. All right, hang on. Let me. No, I'm just kidding. Much. We're back. Garrett is canceled. Good job in the chat. I'm sorry. It's a fun game. I really enjoy it. I feel like we talked on a previous episode how you and I both, Adrian, we're so bummed. We're like, man, never get to play it again because people aren't playing online, obviously, very much.
The servers are gone.
Yeah, servers are gone, all that. And so I was feeling the same way. I'm like, when am I ever going to own a PS3 again? And here we are. I can play it all the time. And someone will just have to come visit me.
You can play it by yourself. And I was going to say,
I have 2 controllers, so get over here. We can play some. There we go. Good to go. All right, that's all my life events I wanted to share with you guys.
Man, it has been a week.
It's been
in your life.
It's been a Monday. It's been a whole like year in one day. That's what it feels
Oh,
like.
who you telling, man? I am wiped out from work, but I am stoked to do this.
Okay, then let's get into it then. Today, we're going to be talking about our first Final Fantasy VII Remake Part 2 news. That's a mouthful. An unfortunate update on the Suicide Squad game, and the Nintendo Switch hitting an incredible milestone. But first, let's give a quick shout out to our Patreon producers, Kajoma01, aka Quote Joma, and Bleep Bloop. Also, shout out to our Super Gamer sponsors, Julie Bates and Mama Mare. If you want to be awesome just like those folks, go over to patreon.com/supergamerboys, where you can support us starting at just $1 a month to get episodes early and ad-free. Anything beyond that, on some of those higher tiers, you get other perks like show notes, and you can be our boss on a producer tier. But some of those episodes that you're going to get early and ad-free are, this show here, you'll get it right after the stream, but also, Super Gamer Book Club. Go check that out. If you already are supporting us on Patreon, you get all of Season 2 with Adrian hosting. The newest episode is Metroid Dread featuring Zetch, Patrick Ellers, and Connor McCabe. Fantastic episode. We had a blast. It's a big, jam-packed episode. It's our January/February episode because it's so big. So many guests on there. And then...
Book Club Classic.
Book Club, yeah, you also get all the old stuff. Season 1 featuring Zetch as the host before he tragically left us. Rest in peace, Zetch. Also, though, little side note, if you can't support us on Patreon, you can get Super Gamer Book Club for free over on any podcast service. Just go search for it there, but you got to wait a couple months. You get an old episode, awesome episode featuring Trouser Schnauzer talking about Cadence of Hyrule. Really awesome Zelda game, so go check that out as well. But we'll talk more about our Patreon later. And before we move on here out of the housekeeping, I just want to give a quick shout out to Jack Sriracha and Yate for allowing us to use their music on our show. If you notice in the background, we've had some music playing, and that's what it is. Go find them on Spotify, Apple Music, anywhere you can get music. Links are in the description below. And all right. It's now
also,
time.
Garrett,
Yes.
Before you go into your deal, because I know you want to get into your next bit, you should pre-warn anybody who's listening today. When this podcast comes out, it's going to be listed as explicit, because today, Tall Tales with JJ goes X-rated.
After dark.
Ooh, boy. I am very worried.
Spicy Tales with JJ.
Spicy.
Oh, and I realized earlier, I asked the guys, I was like, any kids listen to our show? And Garrett said, just me. And I was like, well, no, you don't really count, Garrett.
Just Kajoma.
So because of that, I'm going to go ahead and pull out of my bag a couple of the ones that I've been kind of cherry picking and holding out that are...
So did you hear that, old baby Joma? You're going to have to cover your ears at that part. All right. Well, let's move on. I am very nervous for that segment later. But first, let's check the mail here. Our first question comes from Sir Prince a lot. He... This is an interesting question. I think we can get some good content out of this. So here we go. Hear me out. What is the best pizza chain and why?
Now, are we talking? I guess you did say chain. So
yes.
Oh, this is a tough one.
I do want to. I don't know if you guys have Twitch chat up, but Kajoma is saying, "Oh no, I didn't sign off on this." Resident child Kajoma. So
you're not allowed. You have to have a parent or guardian sign off. What are you talking about? You can't sign off on anything.
This is really difficult for me because I'm a fat guy, and so I'm very much into the pizza, into food, and pizza's such an important topic in my life, right? I've had friends that moved to California from Chicago who said, "Look, man, I never saw what you guys call pizza like this. This isn't pizza. You know, pizza looks like lasagna. It's like everything is underneath like this, you know, Himalayan mountain range of cheese, and it's kind of more like lasagna with big thick crust. And so what I'm used to really good pizza isn't chain stuff. There was a pizza joint that we would go an hour away to the Bay Area of California in a town called Livermore, and it was a place called Magoo's, and they would put fresh garlic all over everything, and like, oh man, it's the best pizza I've ever eaten was at this place Magoo's. But if you're talking chains, I'm gonna be honest, I like Domino's a lot. I feel like Domino's really stepped up their pizza game. They suck. They were a joke.
I can't disagree. Over the last few years, I feel like Domino's has definitely stepped it up a great deal. Because I remember what they used to be like, maybe 10 years ago.
Yeah, they were like a Little Caesars
with some tomato sauce.
And they were like a Little
No. That's I don't just besmirch the name of Little Caesars.
I'm not doing that. Listen. Senior high school versus first couple of years of college me, I have Little Caesars to thank for my existence, okay? Those $5 pizzas, they got your boy through a few days at a time, okay? When I didn't have all the money and income that I have now. So I can never besmirch Little Caesars. They are why I'm talking to you right now.
They carried you through.
And that's what I want to bring to the table here with this question is it just says the best pizza chain. It doesn't necessarily say like the best pizza. And it really, I think it comes down to what you're looking for in pizza. If you're looking for quality in a chain, I'm actually more of a fan of Pizza Hut's pizza. The Domino's is up there. Pizza Hut is, I think, has one of the better qualities of like a chain. But if you're looking for this quantity for a pizza that's still pretty dang good, yeah, Little Caesars is got it. Like $5 for pizza, like that's
it'll get you through in a pinch.
Crazy, absolutely crazy, and it's not bad at all. Like if I did a
you're gonna get us thrown off the internet, Garrett.
If I did a blind taste
stop talking
test,
so positively.
A blind taste. If we get sponsored by Little Caesars, that'd be great. Come on,
I'm not mad at it. I'm not mad.
Bring on the sponsorship. I'll chill for
I'll
Little
eat a
Caesars
slice
all
every
day.
week.
I'll lick that corporate boot all day because it tastes good.
But it's gonna throw off your whole beach body. What do you? We can't have them sponsor us.
So I did the workout this morning, and then I come up for lunch, and Trudy's like, she didn't realize I did it, and I'm like, oh babe, like I did my first workout today. She's like, oh awesome. Guess what we're having for lunch? We had pizza. It's like, yes.
Where was it from, Garrett? Where was it from?
It was a frozen one from Grocery Outlet.
I would have to say, in my opinion, of chain pizza establishments, as far as quality goes, I don't think it gets better than Round Table.
Oh, Round Table's good.
I have never heard of Round Table till I moved to California, and I don't think I've actually even ever had it before. I have not experienced the Round Table pizza.
So that's something to do when we come down there. Then we're gonna find us a Round Table, because there's got to be one in LA or in SoCal, I'm sure.
Yeah,
Round Table's good.
There's got to be one in San Diego somewhere.
It's definitely you get what you pay for, because it's the most expensive of the bunch, but you get like the actual ingredients. So going off of the whole chain thing, what is like your favorite pizza to eat that's not from a chain? Is there like oh man, I love getting the pineapple and pepperoni over at, Sammy Mike's place over on 5th Street.
Oh,
I mean, like,
dude.
what's your guys' favorite pizza?
When we were just
from any particular restaurant?
when we were just back in New York for 3 weeks. So it's my family growing up, our tradition. And so when we were there, my parents were like, hey, guess what? Friday is pizza and wing night every Friday. So we went to a different place like every week. But for 2 weeks, I was like, we have to go to Cicino's Pizza in Geneva, New York. The best freaking, I think there's one in Waterloo. There's 2 locations. So it's like not really a chain. There's like a family thing. There's 2 locations, like 20 minutes apart. Best pizza you'll ever have. And also the most incredible wings. So good. I love Cicino's. That's my deal. And I can only get it when I go to New York, and I hate it.
Is that the thin stuff? Like that's all flopping over, thin crust? I mean,
it's not like, I mean, yes, it's a thinner crust, but it's not like thin crust. I don't know. When I hear thin crust, I think of like the crappy thin like snap in half. I don't know. It's not like it's not like that. It's just pizza. It's real pizza. It's not the weird Chicago stuff, and it's not the crappy California stuff. It's real pizza.
Whoa!
Watch your
Busted
mouth.
out the heat.
Watch your mouth.
Like, wow.
I said it. I'll stand
Watch your
behind
mouth.
it. You also have garbage wings here in California. I can't find a single good wing place here. You go to New York, every wing place is fantastic. Around here, garbage, all garbage.
Anyway, my favorite mom and pop spot, and I think it's definitely hometown. You know, I've been since I was a youngster. I've been going there. There's one right down the street from me, actually. It's a little joint called, well, it's not little. There's like 2 or 3 of them in the area, kind of like Garrett's place. It's called Napoli. It's a little piece of joint that's been, as long as I can remember, been around. They have excellent pizza. I have never had a bad pie from them. And that's saying something, because a lot of places, sometimes you'll get one that's cooked too hard, a little too crispy. Sometimes you get one that's just, I don't know, there's something about it that's off. But I've never had a pie from them that there was something that was like either missing or something was wrong on it. And that is a huge accomplishment to me.
Yeah.
To have such a
Great.
consistent product.
Yeah, the consistency. So. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Dang.
Yeah.
So we go to a place called Old Chicago over in Lincoln. We drive there in order to get really good pizza, and they do have amazing pizza there, but it's really expensive. So when we go, it's like every once in a great wild treat, and it is one of those like, oh, I mean, it's thick, and like some pizzas are like $35, and you're like, whoa, like how?
But
is
you
it
get
that
what you pay for.
much? Absolutely, it's like gourmet, like incredible pizza. You know,
That's awesome. All righty, this next question comes to us from Shadow Ranger 02. They ask, so with the advent of games releasing in a buggy, unfinished mess in the past few years, should the term be you got cyberpunked or No Man's Sky when you buy a game early? and just to piggyback off that, there is another listener of ours, another friend of the show, who responded to that. El Chizo says, no, it's you got Keanu'd or they sent this game to Grove Street. Oh man.
I mean, Cyberpunk already has the word punked in it, so
I know. I do
works.
Like that. I do like
that's
that.
really good.
And then I wouldn't say No Man's Sky, because No Man's Sky was actually one of the very, very few that was able to turn around and make an even better product than they envisioned originally. So they, in my opinion, got themselves out of that hole and out of that status as a laughing stock or something like that. So
Fallout 76 did the same thing, and where they ended up going back and fixing a lot of the stuff, and now it's a super awesome game. And then the Fallen Order game had a lot of bugs and crap.
Yeah. Who are you telling? I didn't even finish it the first time. It was so bad.
Yeah.
So bad. Yeah, I think you definitely have to go with the Cyberpunk, because I think that's the only game that I know so far that started bad and is a year and some change since it came out, and it's still bad and still isn't technically out for next gen consoles, even though that was. I
refuse to play it
too.
until it comes to Game Pass. I'm not paying for that game again. I'm not doing it.
It's crazy. Like they don't have a PS5 or Xbox Series X version. Absolutely insane.
When do you guys see that actually happening? When it's gonna land?
They claim it's supposed to be within the next couple of months that it's supposed to be dropping for the
beginning of 2022.
We will see, because they were supposed to be a lot further along in their roadmap of we're fixing this, then we're fixing this, then we're fixing this, and then they threw all that out. So,
yep,
we'll see. We'll get there when we get there.
Absolutely crazy. This next question comes to us from quote Joma, or should we call him Baby Joma now? Well, Baby Joma. He said he wants a new name. We got to come up with something eventually. He asked, Jr. We've had Zelda and Pokemon get a rework to be much better games. What game do you think should get the next rework? So he's referencing Pokemon Legends of Arceus and Zelda Breath of the Wild getting some, basically just being turned into open world games in a sense. What's the next game you think should be reworked and kind of expanded on?
That's a tough one because I don't think every game needs to be a Breath of the Wild to be successful or to be an open world game necessarily to be successful. I think it's cool to see when it works out. Like I think the new Kirby one is probably going to work out pretty well.
Yeah,
but that doesn't necessarily mean that they couldn't have made another 2D Kirby or done a different style of game with him and it worked just as well or be just as creative. I think I would like to see, I feel like F-Zero can benefit from that, like to get in your pilot ship and just be able to go from area to area.
Almost like a Forza Horizon type thing where you actually drive to the race or something.
Yeah, I think that'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, I was having a hard time with this because kind of like what you're saying, like I feel like not every game needs this. Like especially with Nintendo franchises, like I feel like PlayStation and Xbox, like they are what they are, and a lot of times I'm pretty happy with what they are. But yeah, with Nintendo, so I'm trying to think of like a smaller game that needs to be expanded or something. And yeah, I was like struggling to come up with anything because I don't know if every game needs it. The only other game I could possibly think of is, and forgive me if this has already happened, but I was like, okay, well will there finally be a good Sonic game? And maybe that's it. Maybe it needs to be just an open world Sonic game. I don't know if that's anything.
That's supposed to be. I think this new one coming out is supposed to be open world. Yeah.
Okay.
That's what everybody is supposing.
Yeah, and so if that's the case, like who knows? Maybe that'll help kind of finally give us a good Sonic game. But besides
a
Sonic
good 3D Sonic, we've had plenty of
3D,
good 2D Sonic. Yeah,
a good 3D Sonic game because up until now, like it's been pretty bad. But I don't know, JJ. Do you have any games that you think it'd be cool to have expanded or nothing?
I got nothing.
All right. Well, let's get into this last question then here real quick. This is a fun one from Normcore Eddie. He writes, you can only pick one. You get a brand new game from a long dead Nintendo franchise on the Switch, but you can only pick one of these three. Earthbound, F-Zero, or Star Fox? Which one would you want a brand new game? And if you pick one, you do not get the other two. It permanently kills the other two.
Earthbound, Star Fox, and what?
Star Fox,
Earthbound,
F-Zero, and Earthbound.
Yeah.
Do I still get the games that have already come out in the other two franchises?
I assume so. Because the question is more of it's a brand new game from the long dead franchise. So it's a franchise that's been like, the idea is like we have the old games, but we haven't gotten a new one in decades. So which one would you want a new game from?
So I guess by default, then it would have to be Star Fox, because the F-Zero GX is a perfect F-Zero game. That's why they've literally said that's why they haven't made another one, is because F-Zero GX on GameCube is too good and they can't figure out what else to do with it. Earthbound, Mother 1, 2, and 3 are all classics. I'm in the middle of, not in the middle, but I'm in like the first quarter of 3 now. And all 3 of them have been bangers. So I'm fine with that trilogy being just those 3 and being done. But I feel like Star Fox needs its Breath of the Wild moment. And I don't necessarily mean that as in it needs to go open world, but it needs that new jolt, or that new spark, that new idea to get to reinvent itself. And I don't know exactly what it is, but that's the one that I think needs the biggest kick in the pants.
Okay.
See, and I think Earthbound, personally, I'd like to see a 2022 version of Earthbound where everything's updated and fresh, give it some killer graphics, and put it in a cool setting. I think it'd be a lot of fun. I'm thinking kind of like Uncharted. Earthbound, but like Uncharted.
Huh.
All right.
That would definitely be different.
I think an F-Zero game, like, I mean, you were just mentioning it for the one, a game to get a rework, and I think to get that F-Zero game with some updated graphics and yeah, if it was like almost like Forza Horizon in that sense, where it's just like flying around in this futuristic space area, like city or whatever, where you're going from race to race and interacting with other, racers and characters and stuff. I don't know. I think that'd be kind of fun, kind of update a little bit. And, help introduce people to Captain Falcon as
just not just the Smash guy.
Yeah. Who was? Oh, I was watching some kind of funny content. In Mike, Snowbike Mike, he didn't realize Kirby actually had Kirby games. He thought Kirby
really
was a Smash Brothers character. And I'm like, how is this guy like?
Kirby's been around longer than you've been alive, sir.
Kirby's been around forever, and I just thought he was a freaking like Smash Brothers character. I didn't realize he had a game. Are you kidding me? And I was like, oh my gosh.
Do you understand Kirby's magnitude in Japan? Like there's whole restaurants themed around him.
Yeah, we laughed so hard. I'm like, freaking Mike. Oh man, I love him so much. I was watching. It was they've been playing through Metal Gear Rising: Revengeance. And I think it was during that. It was like the first episode or something of that. And he said that. I'm like, are you joking with me right now? That was only Mike. He's also like never eaten eggs and like there's like all these foods. I was like, what kind of upbringing did you have where there's like foods you haven't have never eaten, like characters you just don't know who they are. Oh man, it just makes you laugh. He's a good guy. All right, that's it for the questions this week. So remember, send them in over. I mean, if you're not on our Discord, just DM us on any social media or go over to supergamerboys.com/Discord. Join our Discord. It's totally free. You can chat with us and hang out all week. And we have a section there called Submit to Mailbag. Please send in your questions. And don't make me keep asking. It's always like Saturday night. Like I put
Sunday.
in the GIF, like I was like, and then all of a sudden, like all the questions flood in. Yeah, it's like all right. I mean, which is fine. They're here in time for the show, but it just makes me laugh. Like you don't hear anything, and then as soon as I'm like, ring a ding ding, where's my questions? And then they all show up.
Do all through the Discord.
Yeah, you hear everyone like running. It's like I'm calling like I'm mom on my way home. Like, hey, I'm on my way home. Like, did you get the dishes done? Yeah. And all of a sudden, like they're sweeping, vacuuming, doing all the dishes. It's like, hurry up! Oh man. Alrighty, let's move on to the next segment here. It is now time for the nerdy nudes.
It's now time for the nerdy nudes.
There we go.
Just didn't hit the same without you.
Just. Yeah.
So what did you guys do when it came time for the nerdy nudes?
I did it.
I just always make Adrian do it. Because I don't have that kind of register. I have a lower voice, so I could never hit that.
Just say you're a chicken, and
I
let's
could never
keep
hit
moving.
that. That's impossible. My voice doesn't go that high.
It's now time for the dirty dirt. Yeah, nobody wants to hear that.
I had a customer this week who I was talking to for a little bit, and he goes, you have like the most incredible voice. Like I just want you to know, like. You have a really awesome voice. And I was like, thank you. I do announcing for a podcast and for a lot of wrestling events. Let's talk about me for a little bit.
Like, you didn't go, hey, thanks.
It was super uncomfortable.
So weird. You're such a weirdo.
Dude, I have no life.
I don't know. If I ever like met you in the wild, like if I didn't know you and I stumbled upon you, like I would probably actually die. Like if I went to your store and bought something and I came across, and you like interacted with me,
that guy came on way too strong.
I would straight up have a stroke and die.
Like no joke. People in Nebraska are extremely serious farmer people. And so, yes, my personality is extremely rare. There isn't anybody else like me here at all. I've never met anybody like me. So there are some people who are like, whoa, what the hell? He's like happy and he's like really powerful and like, oh my gosh, back off. You know, and like, yeah, I get it all the time, constantly.
Oh, man.
Too much energy. It's 5 a.m. Why are you happy?
Yes. Stop being so happy. I hate it. All right. This first news story comes from GameSpot and Darren Bonthis. This is the first time I've read this writer's stuff, so hopefully I pronounced that right. Final Fantasy VII Remake Part 2 reveal might come later this year. Today marks the 25th anniversary, and this was written January 31st, last week. Today marks the 25th anniversary of Final Fantasy VII, Square Enix landmark RPG that first launched on the original PlayStation console in 1997. At an anniversary event held today, Final Fantasy VII's director and producer, Yoshinori Kitase, said, did I pronounce that right, Adrian? I feel like you'd be the expert on that one. Yoshinori said that he was hoping to reveal details on the sequel to Final Fantasy VII Remake during the classic RPG celebratory year. We are hard at work on Final Fantasy VII Ever Crisis, so please look forward to that. Wait, what's Final Crisis?
What?
Or Ever Crisis. What is that? Is that the phone game?
Please don't tell me it's a phone game with that word in it.
Yes, Ever Crisis. It's the one. Yeah, it's the phone game. Remember, they showed it off like a year or two ago, like a while ago. We've known about it for a long time. I just blocked it out of my mind because I thought it's.
Come on.
Yeah, that's the Android iOS like shooter game or whatever. So yeah, we are hard at work on Final Fantasy VII Ever Crisis. So please look forward to that, Kitase said, via a VGC and Push Dustin translation. We just started the 25th anniversary of the Final Fantasy VII, so we want to celebrate and get fans excited. So within the next 12 months, we want to share some information. Look forward to more information. Details on the first remake sequel have been kept locked up tighter than Genova and Mountain High since the first chapter launched in 2010. What is known...
I got that reference.
I do not at all. Should I know that reference? What the heck is that from?
You probably wouldn't get it if you've only played Remake because it's not at that part yet. So don't worry about it.
Okay. What is known is that Remake Part 1 co-director Naoki Hamaguchi has been handed full directing duties for Remake Part 2, while Tetsuya Nomura has taken on a broader creative director role on the project. Last year, Remake Part 1 co-director Motomu Toriyama said that he is sure parts of future sequels will differ significantly from the original, and that he hopes the game's Honeybee Inn scene will serve as a good example on how to update and change parts of the original game for modern audiences. That's what he wants us to. Hey, it's gonna be different. It's gonna be like this different, and then cue Honeybee Inn.
I don't think you understand how. No, the Honeybee Inn is way different than the original.
I understand it's different, but it's just such a absolutely ridiculous part of the game. I love how that's what they point to. Like, this is how different it's gonna be. It's like, why is such an absurd part?
Well, I don't want the same game.
Yeah. While Remake's first sequel is likely still a long way from being released, there's still plenty of Final Fantasy VII content on the horizon. Final Fantasy VII Ever Crisis reimagines the game as an episodic series for mobile devices that covers the original game and its spin-offs, while a Battle Royale title called, that's the other phone game, Battle Royale, called Final Fantasy VII The First Soldier, has recently launched. Oh, okay, you can go get that now on your mobile devices. Go play some Battle Royale in the Final Fantasy VII universe.
No, thank you.
Oh, my gosh. Yeah, so that's all for the news. So they didn't outright say we're going to get news on it, but they did say, hey, there is going to be some big news this year for the 25th anniversary. And
there better be.
unless it's a third mobile game they're coming out with, which if that happens, just
I
kill
honestly,
me, please. Like
I wouldn't put it past them either to do that. So
we've ported the Final Fantasy VII remake to mobile now.
I would, you know how furious I would be as I was buying that.
As you were buying
it. That was perfect.
Oh, it's so good. So yeah, there's a chance we get part 2 reveal, but when do we actually think we're going to see part 2? Like, how many years did it take them to make the first one? It was like a decade, right? It took them a long time to make that first one.
They first announced it, I think, what was that? 18, I think. I feel like that was
it wasn't
the first.
Earlier than that? Okay.
No, wasn't it? Yeah, because when did it come out? It came out, what, 19?
I think it was like 2020.
I think it was 19.
Wasn't it 2020 or 2019? Okay.
I don't think so, because Last of Us 2 came out 2020. And I remember it came out before Last of Us.
Oh, yeah, April 10th, 2020.
Oh.
Yeah.
I'll be doggone. It feels like it was longer than that, but
yeah,
maybe because of Intergrade. I mean, I feel like we're definitely gonna get maybe a trailer, like a teaser. We might get some screens, and we might get an interview from the director, and that's about it. I feel very confident in saying that whatever first look that we get is not going to give us any kind of indication of when it's coming out. Not a window, not a hard date, nothing. It'll just be coming soon at the end.
It'll be a little teaser like what we got from, like Death Stranding, like weird little teasers like that, probably.
Yeah,
there won't be any gameplay. We're thinking like maybe a theatrical trailer, or
if we get gameplay, it'll be like maybe 10 seconds of it wrapped in a CGI cutscene.
Yeah, I think it'll be mostly cinematic trailer stuff, probably. But like an estimate, like, so based off of how long it took them to make the previous, like part 1, do we actually think it's even the next year or two, or are we looking at like a 2025 release?
All the hard work is done.
When you got to think of when they started doing it, Garrett. I mean, if it came out in 2019,
2020, part 1 came out in 2020, so they've been working on this for 2 years. But again, like it took them. It was I could have swore it took them wasn't it like 8 or 9 years of development for the part 1 though? Because didn't it keep getting picked up and then dropped and respawn and like they kept like
But that's what I was saying is all the hard work is done, right? They already made all the models, they made all the assets. That's the hard part, making all the different things to make terrain with. All you have to do now is rearrange them in different ways that you need them to look different in different towns or landscapes or things like that. So there theoretically could be the longest thing is going to be the new animations, right? For the new cutscenes. That's what's going to take the longest. But if you already have a game plan of what you want stuff to look like, it's not going to be too long of a wait, I feel like.
Okay. So 2023, 2024?
I'll say 23.
Okay.
We get it.
Interesting. I'm feeling it's gonna be another long cycle again, especially if they're splitting their teams up to work on these mobile games and stuff. Like I think it could be 2024 at the earliest, but I don't know. Guess we'll have to wait and see.
Can we get Final Fantasy 16 out the door first?
Yeah. There's no date on that, right?
No. They've been very quiet on that one.
Yeah. Have we gotten any trailer for that at all? Didn't they come out with like
the one that came out at the when did the first one come out? When they announced PS5, right?
I think the first one came out when they announced PS5, and then there's one in I think
there was one in a state of play.
Okay.
And I feel like there was one at an E3 one time, and then that was it. And we haven't heard anything or seen any updates since.
So crazy. Yeah. yeah, it'd be cool to get the new full fledged Final Fantasy game, but I don't I feel like Final Fantasy 7 just with the name and the fact that it's a part 2, like they can make some big bucks off that though. Like I feel like that's where they're probably putting a lot of their resources is like, let's get this 7 out the door, like this beloved for game. It's part 2.
Yeah,
Everyone
but
wants
at
to
the
know how
same
we wrap
time,
it up. Like
the mainline game is the big dog now, right? You always want to make sure you take care of that. Like as big as 7 is, it's still a side game, right? Compared to the actual new Final Fantasy coming out. I feel like that deserves the biggest team out of everybody. So
yeah. But all right. Yeah, well, we'll just have to wait and see. Kajoma, if you're here, put it on the board. Kajunior, put it on the board. I think it's at the earliest 2024. Adrian, unless it's already on the board. For all I know,
it's already on the board. I goofed already on it. This is just me updating it now.
Oh man, I always forget that we even have a board. Oh yeah, you say. Oh, I see here. Adrian believes that Final Fantasy VII Remastered Part 2 will be talked about in fall of 2021 and it'll come out mid-2022.
Talked about I was close.
What? I mean,
because
maybe.
I feel like it's
We'll
going to be
see.
by April. We'll hear something.
Okay. By April, really?
I think so. I didn't say anything about release dates. But maybe we'll hear or see something by the end of April. You never know. You never know.
You're right. You never do know. You know, one day Microsoft is just doing their own thing and Activision's doing their own thing. And the next day they're the same company. So, you know, you never know.
Man.
Crazy. All right. Let's move into the next story here. From over at IGN, Matt Kim writes, Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League reportedly delayed until 2023. Rocksteady's next DC game, Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League, has been delayed until 2023, as reported by Bloomberg. The upcoming Suicide Squad game has been pushed back a year after initially announcing a 2022 release window. Warner Brothers Games is gearing up for several releases this year, including Hogwarts Legacy and LEGO Star Wars. Suicide Kill the Justice League was first announced in 2020 and Rocksteady's first DC game since finishing the Batman Arkham trilogy. The title can be played single player or as a co-op multiplayer game where players will work together as different members of the Suicide Squad to take on a brainwashed Justice League, including evil Superman. The rest of the article is just talking about the game that we're not getting. But yeah, there's like... from what I understand, it was kind of like quietly delayed, like very under the radar. They didn't come out and do a press release. It was just like, I think at like a board meeting or something, or an email, something was said. Basically what happened. Like, and then of course Bloomberg was quick to, which was it Jason Schreier probably? It's always Jason Schreier because he's likely on it. He's on it. He's always on it. Yeah, they did a big report like, hey, got delayed. So there's not much more news other than that. But I just wanted to kind of piggyback off of that news then and kind of do like a little litmus test on you two. Kind of talk about how excited, like, were any of us really looking forward to that game coming out this year?
I am. Okay. I am. And for big reason. Rocksteady kicked butt. The Batman games were amazing. And so if there's any correlation between the Batman style of game and this Suicide Squad game, I think the premise of the game sounded fantastic. So I was into it. I actually was looking forward to it. I'm a little sad, but I'm not devastated. But I'm a little sad that it's not going to come out this year. It's one of those games that I was kind of looking forward to.
Yeah. What about you, Adrian? Were you feeling the Suicide Squad game at all, or were you kind of more interested, like, I don't know, kind of meh on it?
No, I thought it was going to be really cool. I just, it's the same thing. I feel like for how many stretches of time that they take between when they start saying stuff about this game, I knew something had to be up. So, I'm not surprised that it got pushed back because it feels like it needs that time. Because it definitely that one and the other one, the Gotham Knights. Yeah, those both weren't being talked about at all, so I figured something was up. So
well, apparently Gotham. Oh, sorry, go ahead, JJ.
I'm so sorry. I was going to bring up Gotham Knights because I was curious. I'm not interested in Gotham Knights at all. I don't look forward to that game at all. I thought it would be great when I first heard about it, but of all the things that I've seen, I'm like, I'm just not into it. So I'm more excited about the Suicide Squad game versus Gotham Knights. I don't know why I'm a little hyped up more in that direction. Do you guys have any preference on the Gotham Knights versus the Suicide Squad game?
Yeah, so for me, like I originally wasn't interested in Suicide Squad at all, and I still kind of am not. I mean, the co-op aspect of it seems cool. Like, okay, I can get some friends and fight some monsters. Like, I don't know, that could be fun. But I wasn't initially hot on Gotham Knights, but I think it was the last trailer they put out. It was actually a story trailer, and it's like basically going to be a big like Court of Owls kind of story, and
Right.
that trailer looks like. Is really dark and intense, and I'm like, okay, like I'm down with that, like, because obviously all the marketing material is like bright neon lights and I don't know, like purples and blue, and I don't know, it just seemed very
Not Batman.
just not Batman. Yeah, and so then when we got that trailer and it was like, oh, this is like dark and gritty and creepy, and oh man, the Court of Owls is insane, like this could be a crazy villain. Then I was more interested on it. And at this point, it's supposedly still coming out this year. We don't have a release date, but it says 2022. So we'll see how long that actually lasts.
Best believe it's getting pushed.
Yeah, I imagine so. But I'm actually more interested in Gotham Knights than Suicide Squad, personally. But yeah, Adrian, what about you? Are you feeling Gotham Knights at all, or?
I think I'm right there with you. I think it'll be fun with friends. I definitely don't see this getting any traction as a single player game. I don't think it's meant to be played as a single player game, because the biggest focus of the trailer was you or the player playing with other players, whether or not they be friends or somebody who hops in the lobby. So
Yeah.
Of the two, I think I'm with JJ too. I like the more story based gameplay of the two. So and Rocksteady, we know, had developed a fantastic duology of the two Arkham games.
Whoa.
So
Did you notice the word you used right now was duology?
that's what I said, right? Yeah, duology, as in two.
No, but there was 3 games that Rocksteady did in the Batman trilogy.
You got to go look at the wiki, right? See, there's Batman Arkham Asylum, and then there's the finale, Batman Arkham City, right? And then they did a side game that was the Arkham what was that one, Garrett, where you fight Deathstroke?
Arkham Origins.
Arkham Knight.
Arkham Origins, yeah. And then they're like, well, we've done all we can do. We're gonna set Batman down for now. And everybody collectively said, you know what? That's a good idea.
Yep.
Origins. Who did it? Was Origins Montreal?
It's WB Montreal, yeah.
Yeah. I never played that one.
But the Royal Committee, that is Rocksteady, does not recognize Origins as an Arkham game. So it's not in the pack that they keep putting out everywhere.
Which is so crazy. Like, why not?
Is it?
I mean, was it a bad? I feel like I initially, like when it first came out, people didn't like it, but I feel like in the last like year or two, people have kind of are like looking back at it, like, oh no, it actually wasn't that bad. I've heard that from a few people. I feel like
It wasn't bad. It just wasn't a mainline game.
So I didn't play much Arkham Knight. I couldn't stand the whole vehicle thing, and I don't know if that's the entire game.
Is that a comic?
But everything. Arkham Knight. No, it actually is the. They had
Is
made
that
a
an animated
third
movie?
No, they made a third game in Rocksteady. Actually, put that out. Yeah,
sounds far fetched to me.
I could be wrong. I'm not like the learned video gameologist that you are, but basically, you seem to be in the Batmobile the entire time. For everything that I played, that's all that I was, and I couldn't get into it. You know,
This must be a demo you played, like a maybe an alpha build or something that they were like, you know what? Maybe we won't put this one out. Maybe we'll just keep this one on the cork board. That might be what it is. Maybe it was on a demo disc you played or something.
Well, the Pizza Hut
You
demo
might be
disc.
right. You very well could be right.
All right, let's move on to the next story then. Obviously, we're mixed thoughts on Suicide Squad being delayed. I could care less, but yeah, I'm glad to hear some people are interested in this game. That you two are very much excited about it, and hopefully we hear. I like I said, I hope we hear more about Gotham Knights this year. That's what I'm looking forward to.
I want them both to be good,
see.
of course.
Oh yeah. I don't wish any game to be bad, but all right. Last news story comes from Matt Purcell over at IGN. They write, Nintendo Switch outsells the Nintendo Wii. That's right. The Nintendo Switch has become the fastest home console to sell 100 million units and has now outsold the Nintendo Wii. Announced in Nintendo's financial report for the third quarter of the fiscal year ending in March 2022, the company revealed that the lifetime sales of the Nintendo Switch is 103.54 million units as of December 31st, 2021. This pushes the Switch past the Wii, making it Nintendo's best-selling console that you can plug into a TV. But it has some way to go before eclipsing the Nintendo DS, though, which sold 153 million consoles across its numerous iterations. Adding to the Switch's accolades is that it is the fastest home console to hit 100 million sales, surpassing both the Wii and Sony's PlayStation 4. A graph from Bloomberg reporter Takashi Mochizuki shows the continued uptake in Switch sales during the console's fifth year sale, while both PS4 and Wii experienced slowdown in sales at the same time during their respective lifetimes. During the first 9 months of the 2022 fiscal year, Nintendo sold 18.95 million Switch consoles. This is down by 21.4% compared to the previous year, but is still the best quarter for console sales the company has had since the previous year. Nintendo expects to sell another 23 million consoles before the end of the financial year in March. Absolutely crazy.
They expect to sell 23 million consoles in a month and a half?
No, it was in the quarter or the year.
You said by the end of the financial year, that's March, right?
Yeah, it says they expect to sell another 23 million before the end of the financial year in March. I don't know if they're talking about this financial year or they're talking next financial. It doesn't, but if they're expecting to sell that much in a month, I don't know about that. That seems kind of crazy.
Unless they have some secret flood of inventory coming in, I don't know how they're going to do that.
Do you think that some of these crazy numbers that Switch is putting out there is because of the time that we're living in with the whole pandemic, COVID, and like people being stuck at home, that helped to push those numbers a lot faster than they really would have had we not been stuck at home?
I think no matter what, they would have sold the same amount of numbers, but yeah, I think the speed definitely comes from that. Like, just think about when the pandemic hit, and that was right when Animal Crossing hit. People were buying Switches to play Animal Crossing. I have so many friends who don't play video games who bought Switches to play Animal Crossing. Like, people who aren't gamers, like, bought Switches because they heard about this Animal Crossing game and play it, and they loved it. And so, yes, I 100% think it's the pandemic kickstarted sales like crazy for the Switch. My parents just bought a Switch a couple weeks ago too. Like, they're like, people are. When I went and visited them in New York, we played Mario Party and Mario Kart like every other night. Like, we were constantly playing it together. And when we left, my mom was like, I want to play the Mario board game. That's what she kept calling it. I love that Mario board game. And so, yeah, they got a Switch. They're close enough, good enough. But yeah, they got a Switch. They can play Mario. So like her and my mom and my dad play Mario Party and Mario Kart together, just like at nights, and it's so awesome to see. But yeah, I 100% think quarantine and pandemic, people just being stuck inside more, and definitely, and they've had some banger games the last few years too.
Mm-hmm. I mean, let's not act like it wasn't already doing gangbusters before the pandemic hit, though. It was definitely doing numbers out the gate. I remember the articles when that happened talking about, man, this thing is really moving units. Mm-hmm. And it was like at a unexpectedly fast pace that they didn't. Because I was working at Toys R Us at the time when it first came out, and I mean, we would put them on the shelf, and then maybe less than an hour later, they're all gone. So we were definitely moving product. And if we were just one store of many retail ones that had it like that, they were doing okay.
Yeah.
Is that where you got your first one? Is from working over there at the Toys R Us?
No, I had to reserve mine at GameStop, I believe. Yeah, I did. And I remember I got screwed out of the Breath of the Wild Master Edition because they claimed that they never got any to put out for pre-order, but I think there was just a couple of employees who got to it first. So,
dang. That sucks.
what can you do? But no, this is fantastic news for the little console that could. I remember putting all my eggs in that Switch basket when it first came out. I was like, I remember thinking this is going to be the one. And I remember seeing all those articles, not articles, but like comments and tweets and Reddit posts and YouTube videos about, this looks like garbage. It's gonna flop. It can only do so much. The controllers look dumb, blah, blah, blah. And I haven't heard a peep out of those people since. I've actually had Reddit posts that...
No, you do still hear it, and it's the people who say, oh, Pokemon Legends Arceus looks so bad, like, why is it grass? There's no tree, like, blah, blah, blah.
Meanwhile, it's the highest selling Pokemon on the Switch. So who am I listening to? Not them.
Not them.
But I have Reddit comments that I purposefully screenshotted mine and the other people's usernames in there so I can go back and find them later. And I remember people saying, "Oh man, this is gonna flop," and I said, "I don't know. I think you're gonna be wrong about this one. I'm gonna come back to this, and you're gonna feel real dumb about it." And I am yet to see them come back and respond to it. It's
you need to DM them and be like, hey, remember this?
Hey, how's it going? How are things?
So from an outsider's perspective, I wasn't a game player in 2017. And I got to tell you, when I first saw the commercials for the Switch, the whole connectivity of plugging it in and then being able to play it on the television and to walk away with it, I thought that was a dumb idea. I thought, like, man, they're kind of like splitting up their time instead of like devoting it to one thing. It's either a handheld or it's for the television console. And man, I couldn't have been more wrong. I think that they've taken it and run with it. And I think this is what Nintendo is from now on.
Yeah.
Is the Switch. They found their niche.
Yeah.
They weren't going to be able to compete with what Xbox was doing. They weren't going to compete with what PlayStation was doing. So
I don't think they want to.
Totally different direction.
I think
No,
they
I don't think
could,
they want to
but
either.
they definitely don't want to. Yeah, they made it very clear
Well,
that we're not
their
interested.
whole thing is like gaming for fun, for kids and families and fun. And I think they are phenomenal. They're doing such a great job. I wouldn't be surprised if they just make phenomenal money over the next couple of years based on the Switch.
They've been making phenomenal money for a while. They are for sure in the black.
I if they can get more OLED Switches in the market too, like more readily available to people, I think that'll greatly boost sales. Because like I'm looking to upgrade. Like I have a launch version model of the Switch, so I would love to upgrade. I just can't get a hold of one. So if they are more easily, like if I can grab one for my without having to hunt it down on the internet and wait.
Yeah, or try to chase an Amazon. It's here. Hurry up. There's only 3 of them.
Exactly. Like, man, that's going to boost their sales again as soon as those are actually available, because I'm ready to trade in my Switch to upgrade to the OLED like anytime. So, and I'm sure a lot of other people are the same way. Like they're like, oh, I'm ready to upgrade, but I can't because I can't get my hands on it.
I know.
Good job, Nintendo, for this at least. Now, there's been some other stuff in the news lately about them that, not good job.
Oh boy, yeah, it's they giveth and they looketh good and they looketh dumb.
The Mr. Nintendo giveth and he taketh away.
He taketh away.
Oh man, yeah. What was it? It was 13,000 or 1,300 copyright strikes on that YouTube channel.
Altogether?
Yeah, well, they got another like 2,000, right? So I think it wasn't, it's like 1,300 and 2,000. So it's like total like 3,300 copyright strikes or something on this channel.
Yeah.
Crazy. Yeah, basically there was a YouTube channel that had a bunch of video game soundtracks, like a lot of Nintendo ones, mostly Nintendo, because Nintendo doesn't release their music on Spotify or Apple Music or anywhere. And so this guy just, had a whole YouTube channel so you can listen to Nintendo music soundtracks. And he got, over like 3,300 copyright strikes on his channel the other day from Nintendo. They're like, take this down. I can't imagine.
He was one of many that happened to. He wasn't the only one. I saw tweets from a lot of people that were like, they're taking my stuff all the way down. You know, they're copyright striking me. My channel might go away. And it's kind of like, for what? You obviously don't care if they make money off of it, because you're not trying to do anything that can make money off of it. So why do you care what they're doing?
Yeah, if you like I understand, like, okay, someone is using something you created in a way that, you didn't intend. Like, okay, I can get that understanding, but it's also like, but people want to listen to music. It's like they give us what we want. Like, let us listen to it then. Like, if you're not going to let us listen to it, listen to bootleg versions, at least give us legit version.
I Switch in my pocket to listen to it.
I'm not going to use my Switch as like a Walkman. Like, I'm not going to.
No, it's not happening.
That's not what I'm doing here. Not going to do that. 'Cause I love how, Smash Brothers has the music mode. It's like, who's going to walk around and listen to that? Like, that's ridiculous.
Somebody has, I guarantee you.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't understand. You know what this is like? You know how when you have kids playing with each other, right? And one kid has a ball and he goes and plays with another toy, right? And he's not even thinking about that ball at all, right? But when another kid comes up and starts playing with that ball, I wasn't done playing with that. That's exactly what this is. You weren't even thinking about this, but the second somebody else comes and does something with it, now you want to shut it down. Now you want to do something.
Do you have a camera in my boys' room or something? Like, I feel like I hear that like a million times a day. I feel like have you been listening in to their conversations?
That's just how people are. That's just how.
Yeah, 100%.
Dumb. It's dumb.
Oh man. Yeah. So thank you, Nintendo, for bringing us a Switch, but
stop doing dumb stuff.
Stop doing dumb. At least, put up on Spotify, please. Please, Apple Music. I don't care. I'll pay for whatever subscription I have to. Give it to me.
Please.
Alrighty. Now it is time for Tall Tales with JJ. Now, remember, he prefaced it at the beginning of the show. This is apparently going to be explicit. I'm worried.
NFSW, not safe for work. Wait, it is.
Oh, man.
Tales at night.
After dark.
All right, JJ. For those of you who don't know, JJ has 2 minutes to tell us a story, and then we're supposed to, me and Adrian have to guess whether it's true or not. So, yeah, here you go. You take your 2 minutes, tell your story, starting now.
Get the timer on the clock.
Go.
All right, folks. So let me tell you all about the first time that I went to a strip club. So I was 18 years old, and I had a friend named Marco. Marco showed up at my house and was like, dude, you want to go see some boobies? And I'm like, yeah. So we jumped in the car, and we drove to San Francisco. He said, so here's the deal. You cover us getting into the club, and then I will take care of the gas, and, like, I'll buy a little bit of food or whatever. I'm like, all right, sweet. So I had $30 on me. So we do the drive. It takes like 2 hours to get to San Francisco. We show up. I'm 18 years old and wet behind the ears. And we're walking around San Francisco. I'm getting hit up by panhandlers. I've never seen anything like this. First time I've ever been in the city when it wasn't with the field trip for school. And this is unlike anything you go to a field trip for school with. So we end up going around until we finally see this gorgeous, just absolutely gorgeous woman hanging out outside of this one strip club. And it says the entry fee is $15 a piece. I'm like, perfect. And she's like, hey, what's up? You guys want to see my friends? They're way hotter than me. Come on in. And we're like, holy crap. I mean, she's gorgeous. So we go inside, and none of the women were gorgeous. So none of the women looked good at all.
What day did you go?
I think it was like a Friday evening. And so what ended up happening was this first opportunity of me ever doing this. I'm 18 years old. And I mean, this girl was getting us to come in the door. And then we go inside. And what happened was he goes, dude, let's go sit at the tip row. Now, the tip row, for those that don't know, Garrett, I know you know, for the tip row is where you sit right up at the front, like right at the stage, so that way you can tip the dancers if you're happy. So what ended up happening was we didn't tip. We were just hanging out and not tipping for all these nasty dancers that were dancing around and talking to other people in the audience. Yeah, I know, girl. Yeah, and I told him to shut up, and they were dancing around, so we got kicked out.
Man, so your first time and you get kicked out, huh?
Yeah, we got kicked out.
So you go ahead.
Yeah.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
So yeah, I ran out of time. I wasn't watching the time good enough. But basically, we had the dancers were on the stage. We're trying to dance seductively while they're talking to other audience members. There was a couple of people in the audience, and my friend Marco and I are at the tip row, and we're just sitting there, and like the person behind us is like, "What's up, dude? You guys aren't gonna tip? You guys are right there. You're not gonna tip?" And then I didn't say anything because I'm like, I don't want to say anything. Marco says, no, they suck. And like, so he's like, oh, I'd kick your butt. And like, there's like little arguing back and forth, and he's been drinking and he's 18. And I'm just like, oh no, like this is not a good situation. I'm scared out of my mind. And so basically we got told, if you guys aren't going to tip, you need to get the hell out. So we were there for a little bit. He had one alcoholic drink there, 18. And they told us to leave, and there were a lot of threats, and there was like an angry dude who acted like he was going to fight with Marco over it. And yeah, so I mean, it was an experience.
Oh my god!
And I never went to another strip club.
I'm gonna go ahead and absolutely say that that's true, because that's how that works. If you don't tip, then they do throw you out because you're not patronizing the place or the talent. So
Okay, Garrett.
Yeah, I think this one might be true. It sounds like something that, you know, JJ and is just being completely naive, just jumping in like full, but both feet without thinking. Like that sounds exactly.
Okay, no, that
gotta
is
give
me,
them
yeah.
money.
Yeah.
What? We gotta pay more?
We didn't have any money, but here's the great part. It is completely true, except for the end part where I said, and I never went to another strip club. So I did go to another strip club, and this other time that I went to the strip club was my little brother's birthday party with my dad and my 6 brothers. So
that is time, ladies and gentlemen.
And I'll tell you about that another time here on the show, because that's even better.
What? See, this is why we're getting into the Patreon ad. Before we get into the official ad, though, this is why you guys need to support us over at Patreon, because we had $100 a month, and we're going to do that super later, boys, where we just goof off and tell stories and have fun, and that's the kind of content you can get over there. So come on, support us on Patreon. We're doing the ad right now. We're doing the ad right now. So let's get into it. Alrighty, this is a part of the show where I tell you to go over to patreon.com/supergamerboys to support us, starting at just a buck a month, or $5, $10, $15. We have different tiers, which gets you episodes early and ad-free, such as this show and our Super Gamer Book Club hosted by Adrian. You also get show notes early. You can get shout-outs on the show. You can be our boss and pitch segments. All from patreon.com/supergamerboys. Remember, go support us over there. We also have a goal where if we hit $100 a month, we will launch a third show that's also monthly. And we mentioned it earlier in the show, but Super Later Boys, where we just we might have a topic each episode. Maybe we're just telling stories. JJ, who knows, tell us more strip club stories. Hopefully not. I don't know. With what the setup you gave me, I don't know if I want to hear anymore, but maybe. I don't know. Go support us over there. We'd very much appreciate it. Helps us make bigger, better content for you. Buy sweet stuff so we can make content, so we can play games, so we can do what we got to do to keep making a cool show for you guys. So check it out. Also, if you're watching over here at twitch.tv/the Super Gamer Boys Live, remember, you can subscribe to our channel here. It's, I think it's like, what, $5 for a subscription, or here's an even better deal. Completely free. That's right. You can subscribe for free if you have Amazon Prime. You can link your Twitch account to your Amazon Prime account, throw us that free sub, and we get $5, cost you nothing. So go check that out, and you get our Twitch emotes, access to all that. You can watch ad-free on Twitch, because I know if you're not subscribed, I think it kicks you guys some ads too while we're doing a show. So go check it out, and let's get back to the show. Alrighty, it is now time for What You Playing. So, JJ, what you been playing?
I desperately want to tell you guys all about the other strip club story because it's even better and way filthier. So, but I'm worried that if I do tell you, you would technically have herpes. So I'm going to hold off. I'm going to tell that another time on Tall Tales with JJ. So this week I've been playing It Takes Two some more. And I got to tell you, that game totally deserved the game of the year. It's really a phenomenal game. It is such a fun game. The story is so great. Everything that you see, the visuals and stuff, is just fun. It's so much fun. And the couch co-op aspect of it is really great. My son and I were playing this week, and what a blast. And I mean, he was really, really getting into it. Like, really, where it was like, okay, dude, we're done. And he's like, no, just a little more, Dad. And I'm like, all right, push over. What do you want? But that game is really fun. If you guys haven't played it, It Takes Two is fantastic. I couldn't imagine playing it alone, though. I couldn't imagine playing the game by yourself. And I guess the computer, I couldn't. That would suck.
Now, I'm curious. Does it have cross-play? Like, if I got it on my PS5, could I play with Adrian on an Xbox, or do you have to be on the same system? Do you know?
I'm not really sure. That's an interesting question, though.
Interesting. I might need to research that later. I just made a note for myself to look it up later. Because, I do have it on PC Game Pass, I guess, so we could still play it that way. But yeah, because I don't know if I can convince Trudy to play a whole game. She might play one night, but I don't know if she'd play a whole game with me. So I think I have a better chance with one of my friends. So if Adrian wanted to play through it, or anyone else wanted to play through it with me. But yeah.
Did you notice he called us his friends, Adrian? That was really cute. That was adorable.
Yeah, I heard him.
Yeah.
All right.
No, I think I love hearing that. Every time that you talk about this game, it seems to be getting better and better. I really dig that, and it makes me even more excited to jump into it at some point.
Now, is this gonna be the new Little Nightmares, though? Is he gonna drag this out for next 6 months?
Okay, all right. I'm the ball buster here. I bust your chops. You don't do that to me. You can't. Knock it off, Garrett.
Okay, all right. I'm sorry. I take it back.
I'm going to talk about it for the next 6 months. I hate
Everybody's
you so
like, JJ, it's only an 8-hour game. Why is it taking you 6 months to beat it?
Heaven forbid if they come out with a sequel this year too.
You're killing me.
It takes 3 or something. I don't know. Oh man. Adrian, what have you been playing?
I have jumped back heavy into Monster Hunter 4. Monster Hunter 4 Ultimate. JJ, you were just mentioning how you can't see how somebody would play It Takes Two alone. Well, I have never had the opportunity to play Monster Hunter with other people. And it is basically made to be a cooperative game. You can play it on your own, but it's the best when you play with other people. And this is the first time that I may be able to play with other people. So I am definitely looking forward to doing that. And they are, the people that I'm playing with are brand new. to Monster Hunter. So it's kind of like you're, guiding them through the beginnings of all the stuff, because Monster Hunter is really dense as a series. It takes a lot to get in the door, but once you get in, you never want to leave. So that's what I've been playing this past week, and that's saying something because Arceus is out and in the open, and I have not touched it because I've been playing so much Monster Hunter. So that's where I'm at. Oh, and then I don't know, long shot in the dark, I still have 2 more slots open in my party. So if by some crazy stretch of the imagination, if you have a 3DS and you have Monster Hunter, holler at your boy. I can always use more people in my party.
Nice. I do not have a 3DS. That's, who knows? Maybe it'll be the next console I buy. We'll see.
Everything else.
Getting everything else. I have not been playing any games this week. I'm going to be completely honest. I don't know what happened this week, like flew by. And the only thing I played was, let me look.
Game of Life.
Game on my phone. Game on my phone called, hang on. Where's the name? Here it is. It's called The Office. Somehow We Manage. And it's it's based off the Office TV show. And it's literally just one of those, what do they call it? Like, it's one of those games where like you don't actually sit there and play it too much. Like you just kind of like you do a couple things and you leave it, and then you come back later and like you've earned a bunch of money, and then you can do a couple more things and you leave it. There's a certain name for that genre of game. Basically, it's a game that's not a game. Like it's more of like I just manage it like 2 times a day or something like that.
Like Tiny Tower.
Maybe. I don't know if I ever played Tiny Tower, but
it's the one where like you are building a skyscraper, and then each floor is like a different. Yeah,
exactly, like Tiny Tower. But yeah, so you're managing like each of the employees and getting them leads so they make more money. It's honestly just a time waster. It's all a time waster and a way to try to make money off microtransactions. It is riddled with so many microtransactions to speed up the process. And I've been this close about 100 times. I've been this close to buying some gems and coins and stuff.
Don't do it,
dude. I have hovered over that button and I'm like, I can't, I shouldn't, I can't.
Don't do it. You'd never come back.
I haven't yet. And I'm thinking about deleting it off my phone because honestly, it's just like I said, it's a time waster game, and that's all it's been for me. It's just
the psychology is working.
It's working too well. But yeah, I just haven't had any time to play games. I've been meaning to play Portable Ops because I gotta get ready for that episode happening later this month. But yeah, I've been exhausted this week. But hopefully this next week, I'm excited to play more Portable Ops and. Dude, now I have the PS3, get that Legacy collection in the mail and start playing some Metal Gear.
Get that Peace Walker going, baby.
Not yet. We're streaming them, so I got to do them in order, right?
Oh,
so I'm doing 2, and then 3, and then I don't know. Is it worth doing Peace Walker before 4, or should I just do 4 and then go back to Peace Walker? Because I feel like Peace Walker is a longer game, isn't it?
Than 4? Absolutely not.
Really?
4 is pretty long. I don't know if you remember how long it was, but
I don't know. It's been a long time.
Peace Walker is only long if what?
I was saying I watched Kind of Funny playthrough 4, and I think they did it in like 5 or 6 sessions. Like what's that? Like they probably played for like 10 or 12 hours or so. But
right, but Peace Walker is only long if you do all of like the side missions and all the extra stuff to for completionist run. But if you golden path straight through it, I feel like it's pretty short too. So
okay, yeah. Well, maybe we'll do it in order then. Do 2, then 3, then do some co-op Peace Walker with you, and then jump into 4. That'd be pretty sick. But yeah, dude, I'm so excited about the PS3 because
heck yeah,
man, there were a lot of games on there I missed because. Like I've mentioned before, I had a 360 during that time period. Like I had the PS2 and I for me back in the day, saving up money was collecting soda cans, taking them to the machines, getting my nickels, my dimes out of those, and then selling whatever previous console I had. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna trade in or sell the PS2, and I have enough cash from the cans to go buy the next gen console. What's it gonna be? And I
Boy,
picked
if
the
older you
360.
could go back in time and just grab younger you by the shoulders and
I
just
would too.
shake them.
I'd strangle me to death, probably. Like, I'd have just absolute
just
anger.
wait
like,
until you get the money.
Thinking? What were you thinking? Yeah, exactly. But yeah, all my friends were getting 360s, so I went the 360 route, and that was the other mistake I made. Not only did I get rid of PS2 and all my old consoles, but I also went Xbox, which Xbox had great games on there, but the console just drove me nuts, the fact that they kept dying on me. So yeah, I'm excited to have this PS3 and like, okay, now I can kind of start chipping away at some backlog that I have there too. Not that my backlog was lacking, that's for sure, but it's just the ability, like I have access to that now. Like that wasn't even possible until now. Like there's a lot of games that are locked to PS3, and some of them have come to PS Now, but not all of them. So I'm excited. Like, okay, I at least have the opportunity, if I want to, pick up a game for cheap off eBay and play it. So, yeah. All righty. Well, that is it for the show today.
That's a wrap.
Let me just double check here. Yeah, nothing else. So thank you guys all so much for listening and watching this week. We appreciate each and every one of you who listen, who watch, who supports on Patreon, do all the things. Share our stuff on social media. Give us a thumbs up on YouTube. Subscribe to that channel. If you wouldn't mind doing all those things, please help us grow this channel. We want to get bigger. We want to get better. We want more people to hear about us. And there's only so much we can do with promoting our show. We need your guys' help. So yeah.
Tell your friends.
Yeah, tell your friends. Whenever we share something on social media, go ahead and like it and share it yourself. Put it in your stories on Instagram, retweet it on Twitter, whatever you got to do. Doesn't cost you anything, and it helps us tremendously. So yeah, check us out at patreon.com/supergamerboys. Remember, support us over there. Get us to that $100 a month goal, so then we can freaking bring you Super Later Boys and have some more fun together.
And JJ can talk about going to the strip club with his dad.
Yeah. Exactly. The story we all want to hear. You can also go to SGB's. Oh my God. You can also go to sgbstore.com and buy some sweet merch. I actually have some sad news. When I traveled back from New York, I had my Super Gamer Boys sweater, like crew neck, that I was so proud of. It was in the suitcase. When I got back to California, I opened the suitcase and there's a little tag saying TSA look through my suitcase. Probably because I have my laptop. I always throw my laptop in the suitcase because it's so big and heavy and I don't care about it. It's an old one. And my sweater was gone. And the only thing I can think of is, because my parents are like, it is not here. And they have a very small house. So they would know if it was there or not. I think when the TSA was checking my suitcase, they moved it out of the way because I had it wrapped around that or like near that laptop as padding. They took it out and they forgot to put it back in. So you're welcome, TSA agent. Shoot. You're welcome. You have a killer SGB sweater. I hope they at least listen to the show. I hope they wear it. I hope they listen to the show. Maybe they'll hear this and be like, "Oh, it's you. Okay, what's your PO box?"
That was me.
So I got to buy another one. But you know what? Maybe next month. I bought a PS3 this month. Maybe next month I'll buy a sweater. But go to the sgbstore.com, get some sweet merch over there. Shout out to Jack Sriracha and Yate again for allowing us to use their music on our streams and on our show here. We appreciate you. Rate and review us on all podcast services. YouTube, all the things I already mentioned. Find us during the week at supergamerboys.com, Twitter and Instagram at supergamerboys. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at gmorlang, and you can find Adrian over at...
You can find me any and everywhere at Homeboy.
And JJ, where can the fine folks find you?
You can find me over at Twitter, Instagram, at JJ Purdom.
All righty, there you have it. That's it. That's all I got.
All right, for Goody Two Shoes, Garrett Morlang. For adorable Adrian Holmes. And for myself, Juicy, JJ Purdom. And
Wait.
remember, if you-
The name Juicy has a very different connotation now, like with the whole strip club story. Like I just imagine you now. I just picture you in like those juicy sweatpants, or like it says "juicy" across the butt or something. Like
Hey,
that's
Would you
what I
be
picture.
surprised if he owned some though?
Like
yeah,
the bedazzled,
I need to get them now. Like, and if you would support us on Patreon, I'll wear a pair of those sweatpants that say "juicy" on my ass. Okay, that's the kind of extent that I'll go to. And you'll also get to hear great tall tales with JJ. I've got plenty more where that came from, including the time I lost my virginity to 2 women at the same time. So that's another story for another time.
Now
Folks,
that is a tall tale.
We are. No, it's not, son. This is 100% true. We are the Super Gamer Boys.
and we will catch you on the flippity flop.
Ain't no way. I refuse to believe that.